Hello my dear students, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. And today I would like to finish lesson number 3. You know that I have already explained or discussed unit 1 and unit 2 of the lesson 3, the passing away of Bapu. And today I would like to start teaching unit 3. So first of all, I would like to request you to keep your textbooks open just before you, and page number is 21. I have already explained the subject that were in the first unit and in the second unit. Perhaps you can remember, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was assassinated when he was on the way to a prayer meeting. And now in the third unit, we are going to see the funeral activities of Bapu. The funeral activity. Do you know the meaning of the word funeral? Funeral means the activities that are performed after the death of a person as per religious rituals. And as per Hindu religious rituals, the dead bodies are burnt, right? Now the ashes are obtained after finishing the burning of the body, and then the ashes are immersed into the holy water of the Ganges where it is available, right? That's called funeral. Now we are going to see how the funeral activity of Gandhiji was performed. Now, first of all, I hope that you have already opened your textbook, and now let's read the passage. Some days after the funeral, a special train took Gandhi's ashes to Allahabad. The compartment was decked with flowers. People on the train sang bhajans. People did not weep anymore, for they could feel Gandhiji's presence amid the flowers and the songs. At every station, sorrowful crowds filled the platform. Amid song and prayer, the train reached Allahabad. The ashes were immersed in the Ganges, where a crowd had gathered at the bank. Afterwards, we all went back to Delhi. Yes. Some days after the funeral, a special train took Gandhiji's ashes to Allahabad. Look at the first sentence of the unit 3. Some days after the funeral. I have already given you the explanation of funeral. Funeral means the activities that are performed after burning dead body as per religious rituals. And some days after the funeral, a special train took Gandhiji's ashes to Allahabad means Gandhiji was dead, and Gandhiji's dead body was burnt. And the ashes that were obtained, that were received after burning the dead body of Bapu, were immersed in the holy water of River Ganga in Allahabad. And that's why a special train was arranged from Delhi in order to carry the ashes of Bapu to Allahabad. That's why here the writer says some days after the funeral. That means some days after burning the dead body of Bapu, the ashes were taken. The ashes were carried to Allahabad by a special train. A special train was arranged in order to carry the ashes of Gandhiji, the ashes of Gandhi or Bapu from Delhi to Allahabad. So this is very important for SAQ, that means short answer question. How were the ashes of Bapu taken to Allahabad? If this is the question, what will be your answer? It's very simple. Very simple. Listen to very carefully what I'm saying. How were the ashes of Bapu carried to Allahabad? What will you say? What will you write as answer? You must write the ashes of Gandhiji were carried by a special train from Delhi to Allahabad. The compartment was decked with flowers. Decked means decorated. Decked means decorated. That means here the writer wants to say the compartment by which or in which the ashes of Bapu were being carried from Delhi to Allahabad were beautifully decorated with beautiful flowers, colorful flowers. People on the train sang bhajans, and the people who were present there in the compartment were singing bhajans. Were singing bhajans. Bhajan means a kind of music that is sung, a kind of music that is sung here. So people did not weep anymore, for they could feel Gandhiji's presence amid the flowers and the songs. Now, in the first unit, or in the second unit or first unit, we have seen how much shocked the people were at the news of Gandhiji's death. First, they could not speak out. They became mute. They became silent. They were so much shocked by their heart that they could not speak out even a single word. Right? That is after that, they wept heavily. And now, when they are carrying the holy ashes of Bapu, they are singing bhajans. They are singing songs. The people who were in the train compartment for carrying the ashes were not weeping. They are singing bhajans. Why? Why are they not weeping now? Yes, the writer says people did not weep anymore, for they could feel Gandhiji's presence amid the flowers and the songs. Yes. Just look at the atmosphere. Try to imagine the atmosphere of the train compartment, which was decorated with beautiful flowers, colorful flowers, and perhaps a good smell was felt there. And they were singing bhajans. They are singing bhajans, and they could feel the presence of Gandhiji in the midst, amid the flowers and the songs. In the midst of flowers and songs, they cannot believe that Gandhiji is no more with them. Now they try to believe. They do believe that yes, Gandhiji, although Gandhiji is no more alive today, but they can feel the presence of Gandhiji in the midst of flowers, in the midst of songs, right? So at every station, sorrowful crowds filled the platform. The people perhaps could come to know that a special train was carrying Gandhiji's ashes from Delhi to Allahabad. That is why all the platforms that were between New Delhi and Allahabad were crowded with people. That means a huge number of people started gathering in those stations in those platforms that were available between Delhi and Allahabad. Why? Because they were too much curious. They were too much curious, and they intended to see that train, because they could not see the SS, but they could see the train which was carrying Gandhiji's SS. They were too much interested in watching that train. That is why people started gathering in those platforms that were available in the route from Delhi to Allahabad. And every station sorrowful crowds. Just look at this adjective here. Sorrowful crowds. The people who were present in those platforms were looking very sorrowful. Why? Yes, one and only cause, because they lost their father of nation, Bapu. They know well that Bapu would never come back alive. Bapu would never return. Bapu has left them forever. So that is why they were looking very sad. Their minds were heavy. Amid song and prayer, the train reached Allahabad. Thus, the train ultimately arrived at the station Allahabad from Delhi. Amid the song and prayer, the asses were immersed in the Ganges, where a huge crowd had gathered at the bank. Ultimately, we see here how the asses were immersed. Immersed means, do you know the word immerse? Immerse means putting something into water. Putting something into water. Here, the immersion of asses of Bapu happened in Allahabad. The asses of Bapu were immersed in the holy water of the river Ganges. And the people of Allahabad, the people started gathering, assembling on the river bank. Bank, do you know? So here you need a good clarification about the meaning of the bank, of the word bank. Bank, generally people know, or you know, that bank means an institution where monetary transactions are performed. But it's not that here. Here the word bank refers to something else. What's that? Bank here refers to the sighting place of the river, where the sighting place where the people are standing, are gathering, where the people are assembling in order to see how the ashes of Gandhiji are immersed into the river Ganges. So the banks of the river were crowded with people because they wanted to see how the immersion of Gandhiji's ashes would be completed in Allahabad, in the Ganges. So this is very important for another SAQ. So listen to me very carefully. Where were the ashes of Gandhiji immersed? Where were the ashes of Gandhiji immersed? You must say the ashes of Gandhiji were immersed in the Ganges in Allahabad. In Allahabad. So this is also important for a grammatical question. You can see the sentence, the ashes were immersed in the Ganges. Suppose this is a question in your grammar section. Change the voice. Change the voice. Look at this sentence. The voice, here we see that passive, the sentence has been written in passive voice. That means you would be instructed to convert it to an active voice. What would you write? The asses were immersed. Passive voice by someone, definitely someone or some people. So you have to guess that people immersed. What would be the answer? People immersed the asses in the Ganges. That is active voice. And the sentence has been written in passive voice. Clear? Once again, I'm going to repeat it again. The asses were immersed in the Ganges. This sentence has been written in passive voice. Now you are given an instruction to change it into an active voice. What would you write? People immersed the ashes in the Ganges. Am I clear? Now next. Afterwards, we all went back to Delhi. Yes, the writer says, after finishing the immersion ceremony, the writer and her companions came back to Delhi again. Afterwards, we all went back to Delhi. Back in Delhi, I felt at sea. I had not directly worked with Gandhiji, gone to prison at his call, or made any sacrifice for my country. My sisters and I, and other young people like me, had been merely onlookers. But still, I felt at sea. I felt I had grown up within a magic circle. With Bapu's passing away, I felt the magic circle had vanished, leaving me unprotected. With an effort, I roused myself. I asked myself, had Bapu lived and died for nothing? How could I easily lose courage when he was no longer there? My values were not so weak. Millions of people would have been ordinary folk but for Bapu. He brought them out of indifference and awakened them to one another's suffering. What if now Bapu is gone? We are still there, young, strong, and proud to bear his banner before us. Bapu had passed away, but his India would continue to live in his children. Now, let's go to the explanation. Back in Delhi, I felt at sea. The writer describes the condition of her mind after returning from Allahabad to Delhi. Now she is feeling very sad once again. When she was in the train compartment, she could forget the pain caused by Gandhiji's death for the time being because she could feel the presence of Gandhiji in the midst of flowers and songs and prayers. But now, nothing of these exists. Again and again she can remember that yes, there is no earthly trace of Gandhiji now. So back in Delhi, the writer felt at sea. At sea means feeling very sad, feeling very hopeless, feeling very depressed, feeling very disappointed, feeling very despondent. I had not directly worked with Gandhiji, gone to prison at his call, or made any sacrifice of my country. Yes, the writer reminisces. She cannot understand, she cannot feel, she cannot realize why he is so much influenced by the death of Gandhi. She remembers this. She had never directly worked with Gandhi. Yes, the writer here shares with us that she never participated in working with Gandhiji. She never participated in direct working with Gandhiji. Even go, she had never gone to prison at his call. You know that Gandhiji, as he was a great national leader, he struggled for India's freedom in a peaceful way, non-violent way. That's why British government, that means British rulers, often put him behind the bars. Gandhiji had to be imprisoned for that by the British. And now the writer Nayantara Sehgal is saying that she never had gone to prison at the call of Bapu. Even she never made a single sacrifice for her country. Then the question is why she was so much influenced by Gandhiji's death. That is the question. Without participating in work with Gandhiji, without going to prison at Bapu's call, without making any sacrifice for her country, if the influence on her is so deep, just try to imagine the influence on those who participated in all national activities, in all patriotic activities with Gandhiji. As for example, working with Gandhi. As for example, we must mention going to prison at Gandhiji's call and making sacrifice for India, for India's freedom. Just try to imagine the condition of minds of those people who had a direct attachment with Gandhiji's activities. My sisters and I and other young people like me had been merely onlookers. Yes, the writer here makes it clear that they were only onlookers. That means they did not participate in those activities, but they watched those activities. How Gandhiji and his followers worked for country, worked for country's freedom. How Gandhiji and his followers had gone to prison. How Gandhiji and his followers made noble sacrifice for the country. Yes, the writer and her sister and other people could just watch these activities. But still, I felt that in spite having no direct participation in those activities, the writer is feeling very despondent. The writer is feeling very depressed. I felt I had grown up within a magic circle. Here is a noble realization of the writer. The writer here says, as long as Gandhiji was alive, the writer felt that she was within a magic circle. Magic circle. Look at this. Magic circle means, do you know? Here, the phrase or the expression A magic circle refers to a safe zone, to a safe and secure zone where danger, troubles, operations, tortures cannot reach. The circle means a line, a circular line, where or which dangers, troubles, tortures, exploitation cannot cross that circle line and enter the space within the circle. So the writer here says that as long as Gandhiji was alive, as if she was living within that secure zone, that safe zone, where no danger could enter, where nothing could enter to make any harm. So, with Bapu's passing away, I felt that magic circle had vanished. What happened with Bapu's death? The writer believes that as soon as Gandhiji died, perhaps he lost that security, that safety. With Bapu's passing away, with Bapu's death, the writer says that the magic circle within which she was living, the safety zone in which, or the safety zone where the writer was living, vanished, disappeared. That means here Bapu is so important to her that when Bapu left her forever, she started to feel insecure. She started to feel unsafe, unprotected, leaving me unprotected. The writer says that Bapu left her unprotected. She found no protection when Bapu died. Now, the last paragraph of this unit. With an effort, I roused myself and I asked myself, had Bapu lived and died for nothing? How could I so easily lose courage? Yes, the writer could feel that she was being weaker, and now she is trying to have a control over herself. With an effort, I roused myself. She started to activate her inner self with determination, with courage, with inspiration that she received from Gandhiji. With an effort, I roused myself and I asked my question. The writer makes a question to herself. Had Bapu lived and died for nothing? Yes, it's true that Bapu died. Bapu is no more today. Bapu is no more alive. That means the question is, has the principle spread by Bapu gone with Bapu? No. Yes, it is true that Bapu has died, but he has left his high ideals, high principles that would enable to live them, securely. How could I easily lose courage? Now the writer is getting determined that she would not lose her courage so easily because she is remembering the ideals, the principles of Bapu. that would provide her with good determination. When he was no longer there, my values were not so weak. Now the writer is feeling very bold to protect the values, to protect the principles that she got from Gandhiji. Millions of people would have been ordinary folk, but for Bapu. Yes, that's very important. Here, I would like to highlight the importance of people. I would like to the importance of Bapu on the life of common people, common Indian people. Here, the writer frankly says, as Bapu came to India, as Bapu lived with Indian people, the Indian people did not remain the folk. Bapu always tried to convert the common people, the common folk. Folk means common people, ordinary people. Bapu always taught the people how to be extraordinary from being ordinary, right? So here millions of people would have been ordinary, but for Bapu. The writer wants to say here, if Bapu was not there, if people did not get Bapu, they would spend their life just being common people. Bapu always tried to make those people extraordinary. What's that? So he brought them out of indifference and awakened them to one another's suffering. It is more clear through this line. Bapu brought those people, those common people, those ordinary people out of indifference. Indifference means, indifference just sense when we take no care of others, right? Indifference refers to a sense when we take no care of others, when we give no priority to others' values, to others' desires, to others' condition. It is Bapu who had given us the it is Bapu who had given us or who had taught us how to be how to take care of others, how to give priorities to others' desires, others' values, and awaken them to one another's suffering. Suppose if we see that people before me are suffering from problems, suffering from hardships, suffering from troubles, if we remain mute or blind to those, that is called indifference. As a human being, what should I do? As a human being, I must try to know why those people are suffering. Why those people are suffering. And I must do something in order to reduce, in order to solve, if not possible, to reduce the intensity of their sufferings. So it is Bapu who had taught us how to help others, how to share other sufferings. What if now Bapu is gone? Yes, Bapu is gone. So what would happen? We would spend our life without doing anything for others? No. No. We must follow the principles, the high ideals of Bapu. We must follow the principles, the high ideals of Bapu. in future. The rest of our life, we are still there, young, strong, and proud to bear his banner before us. Yes, the writer is feeling very determined to carry on the ideals and the principles of Bapu. Here, the writer says that we are still there, young, strong, and proud. They are young and strong, no doubt, and they would feel highly proud of carrying, of preaching the principles and the ideals, following those ideals in future. So here, look at the word banner. Banner. Banner means here, banner refers to here those principles, those ideals, truthfulness, loyalty, honesty, and of course, non-violence. Non-violence. That was the highest principle of Bapu, right? You must remember non-violence, cooperation. Yes, these are the principles, good principles and ideals taught by Bapu. Bapu had passed away, but India would continue to live in his children. Bapu had passed away, but his India would continue to live in his children. Now the writer has overcome her depression. She is looking too much bold, determined that it is true that Bapu has died. Bapu died. Bapu is no more. Bapu would never come back. Bapu is gone forever. But his India means to the India as dreamed by Bapu, the India as it was in his dream, that India would continue to live in his next children. Next children means the generation to come, the people to come, the existing people and the people who would come among them, in the midst of them. His dream India would survive, right? The writer does not allow, does not want to forget the values, the principles of. And with this, now I finished here lesson number 3, the passing away Bapu, lesson number 3, and there are so many questions, comprehension exercises in your textbook. You will try to solve them. If you have any problem, you can contact with me. And perhaps you have understood what the writer wants to say through this text, and that's all. Be fine, stay home, stay safe. See you next time. That's it.